Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Today we will be working on a pressure washer. I've never actually owned a gas-powered pressure washer. Well, I take it back, I did have one. Someone gave me a free one, I don't know, a year or two ago, and the pump was missing a bunch of pieces, and I just gave it to another friend of mine. Had a really good engine on it, had a Honda engine. Maybe I should have kept it now looking back. But anyway, this one was given to me by a local resident, and they said do with it as you wish. So let's see what this thing needs here. Looks like a fairly nice pressure washer, and it has a Briggs & Stratton engine on it. Let's see, 6.5 horsepower it claims, Craftsman, which I don't know what the fate of the Craftsman brand is, but they've never had great warranty on anything except for their tools. But we will do the usual stuff here. We will see if we got spark to begin with. So yeah, let me get it set up. I got a lot of things to move out of here. I think I'm just gonna move this quad out. We'll just work in the end here. I hit the hose on it, knocked most of the dirt off and the leaves and that sort of stuff, blew it off with the air compressor. Already removed the spark plug here, so let's do our spark test first. Let me get you in the phone holder here, camera holder. Let's see if we put that where we can all see this. I don't know, maybe there. A little bit easier on this one than on a lot of lawnmowers because the handle's right here for me. Let's see if we got some spark. I can see it. Can you see it? I'll get you in there. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Here, stick your noses in here and see what that smells like. Smells like really old gas. But what we will do is I'll grab some carburetor cleaner, put it in there, see if we have a little bit of sign of life before we continue on. The story I got was that this engine was blown up, but it seems to have fairly good compression. So let me get some carb cleaner. We'll come right on back. All right, a little bit of the magic juice in here. That's more than a little bit, but that should be okay. And we'll just get that back in there, hopefully. I don't see anything else. All right, let's see if it makes some engine noises. That doesn't sound too bad. Okay, I am going to remove the fuel tank, and we might as well just take the carburetor off because we know where we're going. If this thing's been sitting, it's gonna need to be cleaned. Getting the tank off of here is pretty easy. I've already taken it off here. I'm just gonna show you. There's 1, 2, 3 smaller bolts that come out. Those are 8mm bolt heads. And then there are 4 bolts that take the tank off. They look like that. There's 2 on the back, and then there's 2 underneath this cover. And to get this cover off, you have to slide this, I guess it's a throttle control, slide that off and then kind of peel this back a little bit to access those 2. And the tank comes off, and then you're greeted with spider eggs and leaves and dirt and stuff like that. And of course remove the fuel line wherever you want. I removed it right off the carburetor. Now to get the carburetor off, we have to disconnect this linkage, which will probably just pop straight up. And then there's 1, 2 bolts, and to get to those you can maybe get in there with a wrench, but I'm gonna pull off this air filter housing, which the outside of it's missing. So if this thing runs, then we'll have to determine what that costs, if it's worthwhile. But I'm gonna have that removed, and we'll clean all this stuff up, and I'll take you to the bench. All right, we're on the Tom's Tinkering and Adventures workbench here. And there's our carburetor. It looks a little bit nasty in there. And let's see what the inside of this float bowl looks like. It's a 13mm wrench. The way that it's coming apart just tells me that it's a mess. Plenty crusty, but not too terrible. Not a lot of sludge or anything like that in there, but you can see that the float itself is stuck. This should go up until it's like parallel, basically. So that means that the looks like it's a little piece of this gasket. That means that the needle in here, the needle valve that lets the fuel in and regulates the amount of fuel that's in the bowl, that needle is stuck as well. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just throw this whole outfit into the ultrasonic cleaner for a little bit, and I'll bring you on back after it comes out of there. Everything looks a lot better after taking a little ultrasonic bath there in the pine sol mixture. And I blew air through everything, and I used my favorite guitar strings. That's what I use. There's a jet or a chamber right there inside this outside one. There's two of them inside of there. But we'll see how she goes. Sometimes even after cleaning, you can see this thing is still pretty rough looking, but it should work okay. I noticed that it had a crack right there. Put a little bit of super glue on that for now. We're probably going to have to order a new elbow for that if they make it. Otherwise, we might have to order a whole new carburetor. And on that note as well, the air cleaner housing was missing on this, so I looked that up. It's about 25 bucks. So we'll see if we can get it running first before we decide if we're going to spend any money on it. I'll put this together. We'll pop it on there, put the fuel tank back on, and see if she runs. Carburetor's reassembled, got the tank installed. I haven't even turned on the fuel yet. Let's turn the fuel on. And look right here, there's that crack. See if that thing is leaking. And over here is the choke. Choke is on. Tell you what, we'll do a little spray of carb cleaner in here to get things going. And if it starts, I'm going to shut it off because you're not supposed to run that pump dry. But I've hooked everything up so that if it starts, we can bring it over and see if the pump works. Okay, how many pulls? How many pulls do you think? Well, it sort of runs. I think I'm gonna bring it over and hook it up to the water just in case it does fire up and run. So we'll see over there in a second. So far I don't see any fuel leakage here. So we will see what happens. Let's go back to full choke. I got the water turned on and I flushed out the air out of the system here so that if it starts, we'll have something here. Alright, well I just knocked the hose off of there. Let's see. This is one of them things I keep telling myself I need to fix. I got this crappy plastic hose end here I need to replace. But let me bleed the air out of this thing and we'll fire it up and see if the pressure washer part of it works. It seems to be working okay. I decided to just get a replacement hose out of my shed, and I'll set that one by the front of the garage, and maybe I'll remember to get a replacement end for it. I have bled all the air out of the pump, as far as I know. There you go. That's without it running. All right, well, it looks like the engine runs good, but pump puts out the same pressure whether it's running or not. So I don't know a whole lot about these pumps, but I guess I could take it apart and figure it out if I need to. But we do have a good running 6.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine, which, let me see here. I think this is a reduction on the back of it to run this pump. And I wonder if there's a joint or something in there that you can check to see if that's turning. I'll take a look. So I'm sure there's probably a coupler in there. Can't quite see in there. And if need be, I'll look at if I can take that apart, if it's worth it. Pressure washers like this, probably worth $100–150 bucks. So obviously it's not gonna be worth my time to do a whole lot with it if I have to spend $150 to fix it. But it runs good. And that's good to know. So what I probably will do is push it in the back of the garage and do a little bit of research on it and decide what I'm gonna do, but running good. So that's a good start. Well, I appreciate you watching. If you're liking what I'm putting out here, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below, all that sort of stuff. And I'm hoping that I am motivating some of y'all to attempt to fix things instead of tossing them out, because this world is too disposable. I don't like seeing everything getting thrown away. I'd rather see things getting fixed. So thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.